Hmm. What is this doing? Recording in progress. Bro, why is it doing this? Oh. Mm-mm-mm. What's this? I did not mean to do this. Y'all, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm hitting the wrong thing. Y'all, this is my first time going live from my other cell phone. So I'm trying to, I don't even know. What am I doing? Hold on. Let me delete this. Y'all, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm on stream y'all from my phone, right? This is my first time getting on from my other phone. And now I'm clicking buttons and I'm not supposed to be clicking. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. I hope you guys are doing okay. Good morning. How y'all doing today? Are y'all doing okay? How is everyone? I'm saying everyone, but YouTube said it's only one person in here. Is there only one person in here? Is there only one person in here? What am I supposed to do with my iPad? Hold on, y'all. Okay, good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is August 29th, 2025. Year of our Lord. How are you guys? How are y'all? I am doing how am I? When people ask me how I'm doing, I say I'm breathing, I'm blinking. I am blessed. I am truly blessed. It's like so many people, y'all, that I can't imagine. Like not everybody, even though it seems because we do it so regular, it seems like a regular thing, like an automatic thing. Like the Lord do not have to wake us up. And I know everybody may believe something different, but I'm just saying what I believe. I can only talk about what I believe, and yeah, that's it. So don't get mad at me. But how y'all doing today? Y'all doing okay? Cloud addiction is a real thing. Cloud addiction is a real thing, and it's so crazy, y'all. I believe cloud addiction is a real thing, right? And I was talking to my boo, and my boo made a good point. I'm about to curl my hair, y'all. We getting ready to go to Orlando for the weekend. Tomorrow is my husband's 41st birthday. So I don't know what my boo love about Orlando, y'all, but he always want to go to Orlando. So yeah, I would prefer somewhere else, but it's not my birthday. Yeah, whatever. Who cares? Like he always let me choose. Like even if it's not my birthday, he always let me like choose the restaurant or choose where we go at. So, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start doing that. Like I used to always do that with my kids too. Like when it was their birthday or whatever. Like I remember one year, y'all. I had my daughter like this big slumber party, right? And it was supposed to be like a few girls. So a few girls turned into like a whole basketball team or something. It was so many little girls at my house, right? And I felt so bad because so this his youngest daughter, which is also my daughter too, but I say his kids. Like when they bad, they his kids. When they good, of course, they're mine. Duh. So after my daughter's summer party was over, she had came to me like the next day, and I felt so bad, y'all. I know y'all probably gonna be like, "Why did you feel bad, girl?" Okay, yeah, whatever. So she was just like, "Ma, like, well, my kids call me mom. I call my mama my kids a tall purple. Um, she was like, Mom, I really appreciate it. She was like, I really appreciate my party. She was like, but mom, you didn't have to do all of that. She told me I only wanted like 2 or 3 people over here. She was like, I didn't want all these little girls at my house. Y'all, my daughter is so funny. My youngest baby, she got like an old person. She love people, but she do not be wanting to be around them. You know how like most kids want to like go places? My baby be wanting to stay home with us. It's so funny. She used to always be like our third person. Cause like my oldest baby, like my kids, they didn't really get to go a whole lot of places because and y'all, I'm not looking at the screen. I'm trying to pack because yes, I am last minute, and my husband told me to pack last night, but I was like, "Child, I got this. I could just pack tomorrow." And look at me, don't got it and packing today. Oh, hold on, let me get my microphone. I do got a mic though. What did I do with it? Oh, you know what? I think it's in the garage, and I'm not going out there. Okay, hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Oh, I probably should get the y'all. Okay, so let me see. This is what I need to do. First of all, I need to just stop and breathe. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Okay. I need to curl my hair. I need to pat my stuff. But anyways, y'all, I am about to listen to Cruise, the mother effing internet. So that is with Andy Frisella and DJ, right? Okay, so a few things. If you are a person who, well, first of all, when you come to my channel, you should automatically leave your emotions like at the door, okay? Because sometimes I'm gonna say things that's gonna upset you. It may hurt your feelings, and it's not intentional. So if it hurts your feelings, and you know I just told you it's not intentional, if you still allow those hurt feelings to make you feel some type of way about me, you want to unsub from my page, you don't want to talk to me anymore, you hate me, your feelings are valid, and I can't tell you how to feel. But I'm just letting y'all know. So Andy is like 10 times harder than me, right? Pause. And sometimes he may say things that sounds mean. Some people, because you know, these days you can like not like what somebody say and you'll say they racist and they not racist. Like that's another thing. Like we need to start learning like certain definitions. Sometimes things aren't racist. Like people can have certain prejudices, but everything is not racist. Okay. Like I'm so tired of people saying that. Oh, it's racist. They're racist. But anyways, Andy is not racist. Andy's co-host is a black guy. Okay. If you're racist and you don't like black people, you don't like all black people. It's not like you like, oh, I like all of these black people except for these 10 black people. People who don't like black people don't like no black person. Can we please start there? Like that's something that needs to be addressed. But anyways, I'm about to watch the CTI, right? We're gonna listen, we're gonna talk along, and yeah. Yeah, I'm about to pack my stuff. So when my boo get back from getting his haircut, we will be ready to go. Hold on, y'all. Hey, Janet. Hey, Supreme. How y'all doing? I hope you guys are doing great. Y'all, I'm doing a 12-hour stream today. My kids think that I can't do it, so I said, watch this. The hell? I'm so tired of people telling me what I can't do. Well, my youngest baby said I could do it. My oldest baby was like, no. Okay, hold on, y'all. Let me go get my iPad. Where two little kids died at mass, at a Catholic mass. Okay, that's what happened. And the person that did it is despicable, and this is evil. I mean, people ask why this is happening. It's not happening because we sell guns. It's happening because of the cultural significance that convincing a man that he is a woman or vice versa, and then them having to live with that creates. It creates a angry person. You can't fix it. It's the Denver shooter, the Aberdeen shooter, the Nashville shooter, the Georgia shooter, the Philadelphia shooter, the Iowa shooter, Uvalde shooter, Colorado shooter, and the Minnesota shooter are all trans. Those are the school shootings over the last 4 years. What
is up, guys? It's Andy Frisella, and this is the show for the realists. Say goodbye to the lies, the fakeness, and delusions of modern society. And welcome to reality, guys. Today we have Andy and DJ Cruz. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to get right into it. Don't forget to share the show. Thanks for making you laugh.
This is who made 75 hard. So when you hear people talking about 75 hard and like 75 soft and stuff, people don't know. Andy Frisella is the person that came up with the concept. So the concept is, it's the actual thing is 75 hard, right? And it's supposed to be like a mental toughness thing. But through that, you end up losing weight because it's so many things that you do every day, right? And it's supposed to help you like build mental toughness in your mind. Y'all, I tried to do it the 75 days. I made it to day 13. I don't know what it is. I'm not into like numbers and stuff. Maybe I should ask somebody that's into numbers or whatever. I guess if you believe in that thing, I guess, just to like, what they say, tickle my fancy. I don't even know if that's the right term for that, but like, I be curious because, okay, I noticed when I tried to do 75 hard, I lasted 13 days. When I tried to stop eating meat, I was about to say 13 days, but that's a lie. I think it was like, what? I did 75 hard for 13 days. And then I think, no, I'm lying. 7 days. I made it 7 days with 75 hard. And then when I tried to stop eating meat, I made it 13 days. And now that I think about it, we was in Orlando too when I gave in. I think we had went to like this buffet. And I don't always like buffets, but the ones in Orlando, I will go there and eat. Hello. Okay. You know how people pull up to the Ponderosa. Unlimited breakfast and a drink, less than $15. The hell? Yeah. Which we got this really good sushi buffet place here. What is it called? Is it called Fuji Sushi? I had it on my TikTok on my old page, y'all. But you can go there. It used to be like $9.99. Like during lunch, you can go there, right? And you get like real small plates. We went to another place that was similar to that place, but yeah. But anyways, okay, here we go.
Oh, share the show. All right. Yeah. What's good? Nothing, man. We got a special guest today. We have a very special guest. Yeah. Senator Eric Schmidt. What's happening, brother?
In the house. Glad to be back, brother.
It's good to see you.
Glad to be back here in the HQ.
Yeah. You get a good workout in?
I did.
Yeah.
It's kind of keep up with you. That's hard, man. I was trying to see how long I was working out. There weren't any clocks in there. Those little, I didn't have my cell phone with me.
Yeah.
That is quite the gym, though, brother. It is awesome. But
Thanks,
it's
bro.
good to be back. I think it's probably been a year.
Yeah.
A lot has happened.
Well, yes.
A lot has
happened. Big news, though. Okay. You have a new book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you just hit the New York Times bestsellers list this morning, correct?
Yeah.
That is badass, dude.
Yeah. It's Last Line of Defense, How to Beat the Left in Court. You can get it on Amazon. They kind of judged that on the first week it came out last Tuesday. So, yeah, it hit the New York Times bestseller list.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. And it's the story that you guys talked about. I've been on your show before. We lived it here in Missouri.
Yeah.
About how we saw the craziness during COVID. We saw the craziness from Joe Biden. When I was Attorney General, we stood up, we fought back, we exposed the censorship, we beat the vaccine mandates, we beat the mask mandates, we beat the student loan debt forgiveness scam. And so it's really kind of a playbook of how we can do that moving forward to win the future. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's the first time I've written a book. So check it out. I think your audience will like it.
What do you think? I mean, let's just kind of get into it a little bit with the book, because people are confused on what they should do or how they should participate, or how do you actually beat these people that seem to be immune to any kind of pushback at all?
Well, for me, my time as Attorney General, I spent 4 years from 2019 till I was elected to the Senate in 2022, right? So 4 years. The first 2 years Trump was in office, we were focused on crime fighting and, putting the bad guys in jail and all that stuff. Then when Biden came in, for me, it really exposed what the left would do if they had all the levers of power, and they did, right? They extended the lockdowns. They put masks on kids. They were forcing, the guy who was working overtime was going to lose his job because he didn't want the COVID shot. And then the censorship stuff that we exposed before Elon Musk bought Twitter,
right?
Before the investigations, we got all that stuff, we saw it. I think the left is a book for everybody.
They tell me all the supervisors,
lawyers,
all the management got to take
it's really
involuntarily, like required, mandatory 40%.
About having courage to stand up
Soon
and
as
fight
I
back.
get
And we
a
all have a way
promotion,
of doing it. I just happen to be in a job as Attorney General that I
soon
can go
as I get a
fight
promotion,
those battles in court.
okay.
But like for parents to go to the school board meeting, right, and say, what is going on here? Remember they were trying to shut parents down, or they, you know, when they were trying to have these, you know, men, you know, in women's locker rooms and bathrooms. You got to stand up and you got to show up and you got to fight back on that stuff. I think that's the lesson, that when you see it, all of us in our different way, in our different capacity, has to stand up and fight back. But for me, I think, you know, on the right, we've kind of ceded the courts for far too long to the left, and you can't do it. If you're not willing to fight on all fronts, you're going to lose. And so that was the lesson, that was what we did, and really, I think, kind of changed the way AG offices worked across the country. And that's what it's meant to be, as a playbook. Because right now, look, there's a lot of great things happening in the country, but that won't always be the case. If history's any guide, these things don't last forever. And so that's something people can crack open down the road and say, what did they do in Missouri? I think one of the cool things we did, we opened up a parent portal. So like you guys have now got this, the live audience chiming in, which is pretty cool. We had people sending us messages of what was going on in their schools with crazy CRT, and there were kids that were being forced to sit by themselves on a stage in the middle of a gym alone and eat their lunch because they refused to wear a mask. Kids were being forced to participate in like privilege walks. Like, close your eye, everybody, this is grade school. Close your eyes, take a step forward if you're white. Take a step forward if your parents are married. Take a step forward if your dad has a job. And then after like 10 of the questions, open your eyes. And then all these kids are in different places in the room, which is terrible, right? Like, it's meant to divide these kids. They're not their fault. Right. It's not their fault. And they don't look at the world that way until you tell them they're supposed to look at the world that way. So that's what this was about. It was about exposing it, seeing it all on all fronts, and fighting back. And I know that, you know, listening to your show, being on your show, being in St. Louis County was the kind of epicenter of a lot of this bullshit.
Definitely in the Midwest it was.
Yeah. And this is a red state.
Yeah.
And it was still happening with these local blue dots in the red states.
Right.
And so there's a lot of lessons learned there. But I've said it before, I think power doesn't necessarily corrupt, but power does reveal. And way too many people had even a little bit of it and abused it. And you just got to stand up and fight back. And it's also, you know, I played a lot of sports growing up. You do a reflection when you're right. I've never written a book. And I realized that in every sport that I played, in grade school soccer, I played sweeper. Baseball, I played in the outfield. Basketball, I played in the paint. Football, I played free safety. You know, I was kind of in that last line of defense mode.
Yeah, and everything.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that ended up being my job in the courtroom on behalf of the people of Missouri. So it was a crazy, wild time that you had a pandemic, social unrest, and an administration coming for our freedoms, right? So somebody had to do something.
I'll say this, because I know, Eric, you're a very humble guy, in a sense. I know you're not going to toot your own horn here, right? But I think it's very important for people to understand that, like, I genuinely believe this to my core, that America as a country would be in a far different position had you not do the things that you've done.
Thanks, man.
With your positions that you've been in, bro. Like, I firmly believe that, bro.
I don't think it's arguable.
I mean, like, you talk about the censorship, all of it. I mean, you were on the front lines. I mean, we were doing it in a different, not in the courtroom, right? Like, I mean, we were doing it from a different angle, man. But, like, we can only do so much. And it's just, you know, it's equally as important. Like, we had to have those fighters, those people that were in those elected positions that, you know, saw something that was wrong. Like, I got to do something about this.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I think people that get the book, The Last Line of Defense, I think they'll enjoy it. But I would also say that when you're in those moments, I learned a lot about leadership, right, in those moments. And when you're on the other side of the fever dream now, there's a lot of lessons. But one of the lessons, I think, is that when you get on the other side of it, you can be really proud of it when you stood up. And because it was a lonely place for a while. I mean,
it's a lot of
by the way, like what you guys have built here, this kind of community that listens in, that downloads, like that gives you strength too. Because people realize, hey, I'm not the only one that sees this, or I'm not the only one that feels that. So you guys are doing, I mean, I think really important work, and the people that participate, they listen in, they're part of the, you know, your guys' community. That's really important, because one of the strategies on the other side is to make people feel like they're the only one, or that they're the outcast. And you know what? You better use this particular word and not that particular word. And if you do, you're done. We're coming for your job. That's the playbook on their side. And so for our playbook has to be, look, we're going to be the people of common sense, and we're going to fight back, because nobody, if you really push back, you start peeling back the onion. It's all bullshit. And it's just a Marxist agenda disguised under some new flowery words. Right.
Yeah, it's interesting, dude, as you're talking about this, I'm starting to think about, like, you know, they are going to try to do something again at scale, which is insane. This is like psychopathic behavior. Like, you're going to take people's freedom to go outside and breathe the air, man. Like, it's insanity, the level they'll go to. But the reason, from my perspective, that they were able to get people to do that is because for years and years and years, they pushed into the population, into culture, these weapons of control, such as like cancel culture or political correctness.
Yeah.
Can't say this, like you said. And especially this thing called the silent majority.
We didn't call ourselves that.
No. They called us that, and people don't realize that.
Yep.
The left media is who coined that term, the silent majority, and pumped it out into culture, and
As if it was this like noble thing
yes,
to be a part
and
of.
people started taking pride in it, and they were like, "I'm part of the silent majority," and that actually allowed them to step again over and over and over on people's rights and get more and more and more control, to where people were like, well, you know, we'll take care of it at the voting ballots, you know, but then they're cheating there.
Yeah.
So, like, I think people really have to, I wish people could really, like, expand their vision and really see how this was able to come to fruition. Because, dude, if they don't understand how it happened, how are they going to prevent it next time? Right?
I think one of the great legacies of President Trump, and as you guys know, I've gotten to be pretty close, and we play golf and all that cool stuff, and Vance is a friend, and drink beer and watch football. It was pretty cool. However, I think one of the great gifts that he gave the right is this confidence to fight back. I think that was the missing ingredient for, I'm a Republican, right? So that's the missing ingredient for Republicans for such a long time.
Yeah, but why?
I don't know. I think it was like, it was a kind of a country club mentality. And we grew up similarly. That's not where I grew up.
Yeah.
I grew up in North County in a working class neighborhood. So I'm not afraid of a scrap.
Yeah.
But there was never a leader that was willing to say, that's fake news.
Yeah.
Off, right?
Yeah.
Never was there a guy who did this stuff. And I think and by the way, the stuff that he stared down to get to where he's at now, I mean, I don't know how many people on the planet could have withstood all that, like bankrupt your family, throw you in jail for the rest of your life, prosecutors charged specifically for taking away your freedom, trying to move these cases along, all to sideline you. And then ultimately, he almost lost his life twice. I played golf on that golf course that the second dude was at. And the next hole he was on is a par 3. You play that par 3, you realize that if another 10 minutes goes by and the Secret Service agent doesn't actually just happen to spot the glistening on the barrel of that rifle from a hole away, he had a GoPro camera on, and it was going to be broadcast live on a par 3 green right there. Like so anyway, he stared all this down. I think that gives confidence to Republicans to fight back against the left now in a way that's very different. I will also say, I got to know RFK Jr. The first time we met when I was Attorney General, we were out in Utah for a conference, and he was aware of, and he was a Democrat running for president. He was aware of the stuff we were doing in Missouri on masks and stuff, and he came up to me. He's like, and I mentioned this in the book. He's like, "You're my hero." I'm like, "You're a Kennedy. What are you doing? You're looking at me." I got it. And but what he said was he noticed it. He noticed what we were doing. And that kind of thing is contagious. He also reminded me of an experiment that I hadn't heard of, or remembered in a long time, or thought about in a very, very long time. It's called the Milgram experiment. Mm-hmm. You guys were in the 50s at Yale. They did this thing: a guy in a white coat and a clipboard. They bring somebody in. There's somebody paid on the other side to give screams, and you turn the pain monitor. The person on the other side is being paid. They're not actually being injured, but they'll scream in pain. and the guy in the lab coat will tell them to keep turning it up and turning it up and turning it up until screams get so loud that they stop. The implication, of course, is that that person was willing to kill the person on the other side because this authority figure in a white coat was telling them to do it. Yep. That kind of haunted me throughout all the COVID stuff that we got involved with, because
good morning.
You had this Fauci
dude
and other, like even the Sam
leave.
Page here in St. Louis County, who would stand there and tell people how to live their lives. You could go to this game, or you couldn't go to that game, or you could live your life, or you couldn't live your life. Your business had to shut down. And, a lot of people went along with that. So the lesson from all of that is, to answer your very first question, what can people do, is, you know what? Question authority. We ought to be demanding answers. We ought to not, just accept the idea that somebody who has no idea what they're talking about, 6 foot, all the social distancing, all that shit, it was all made up.
Yeah.
And we took in the Last Line Defense that you can get on Amazon right now. We took Fauci's depo. We took his deposition. It was only the second time he's ever had his deposition taken, man.
And be clear, you took his deposition.
Yeah, well, John Sauer, we were in the room, and the reality was, this guy did not like to have his authority questioned. That was really clear. And he got uncomfortable with it. He said, I wouldn't remember. And he asked the court reporter to put a mask on when she sneezed. But one of the really interesting things was, we asked him a lot of questions about when COVID first started. He sent his chief deputy over to China to take a look at how they were dealing with it. And he fell in love with the lockdown stuff. So I think that, and he was on the cover of GQ. He's being asked all those questions. He also, sent an email to a friend of his when she asked, hey, I'm getting on a plane. This is like in March. I'm getting on a plane. Should I wear a mask? He's like, no, masks aren't effective for this.
Right.
And then turns around and says, everybody has to wear masks or they can't go to school or they can't go to work.
Or church.
So I just think we shouldn't forget all this stuff. I think that the struggle against power, there's a Czech guy, Milan Kundera, once said, the struggle against power is man's struggle against memory versus forgetting.
Yep.
Right. So
100%. I think that's my biggest thing. And I think a lot of people can relate to this piece too, because it's like, there was so much that happened in the last 5 years. Like so much.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, I think part of that was also intentional because it was so much going on. How do you pick a single fight when you got all these,
right.
You're being pulled at all these different angles? But then people are also battling with this idea of like moving forward and like,
right.
How do you know what I'm saying? I just want to get back to normal, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think the solution there is like, there has to be some type of accountability. And I think that's for a lot of people, that's, I guess, the biggest, cry right now is accountability. And like, what does that look like? And how does that go? And like, who gets held accountable?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I've always, and I think we've always on the show at least maintained, like even when during the COVID stuff, like it wasn't the nurses.
Right.
It was, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not saying like go hold all the nurses accountable, right? Like that's not what I'm saying. But it's very clear that there were some strategic plays that were being called by key people.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be held accountable.
Yeah, I agree.
What does that look like?
Well, I mean, switch gears just a little bit on, let's just say, Russiagate, for example.
Right. Oh, that's coming out now.
That's coming out. And I think if you want to understand why they were so hell-bent on Trump never getting back in, that's why. I mean, they're finding these burn bags of stuff that they're just releasing now.
Yeah.
And they're terrified of all the stuff that I think is being released. And so for example, the statute of limitations is run on some of these crimes, and there are criminal acts of espionage and things like that. I mean, think about it. Hillary Clinton worked with a Soros organization to make up a story to distract from her email problems.
What?
Then they hired someone to create this Steele dossier, which was total BS the whole time.
Well, we know that.
Then they laundered it through the intelligence agencies to try to sideline a presidency, and they leaked it. And they were trying to destroy, like, effectively thwart the will of the people. The people elected him. I mean, they never forgave Trump for coming down the escalator, but the people elected him. And they continued this. So what does that look like? Ironically, Obama may skirt because of presidential immunity, because of the Trump case.
Which Trump said,
it's kind of wild. Yeah. But there's no statute of limitations that's run on the conspiracy charge. And if you have a conspiracy that's ongoing, which you could argue is, going until very recently, I think Comey I think Clapper. I think
God.
Brennan. So the head of the national
okay, y'all.
DNI,
I'll be back, y'all. I gotta
CIA,
go.
and the FBI. Absolutely,
I'm about to
ought
go
to be
get my
indicted.
nails done right fast.
And I think that could happen,
Stupid
and it should happen.
Yeah. Okay, I'll be back later.
We
Bye.
Missouri guy.
Yeah.
Right, and we also have another close friend, Andrew Bay.